Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're reacting to Piers Morgan. We're locked in. There's been a lot of conversation in regards to Charlie Kirk, in regards to the reaction to Charlie Kirk, and it's funny that MAGA is doing a lot of the things that I knew they were going to do, saying that, oh, if you say this thing about Charlie Kirk's death, you're going to lose your job. Oh, if you say this thing about Charlie Kirk's death, we're going to deport you. Oh, if you say this thing about Charlie Kirk's death, we're going to arrest you. Like blatant, you know, violations to a certain principle that is the bedrock of the United States of America that these MAGA morons will be bitching about every single month, basically about, oh my God, Twitter didn't allow me to talk about how great Nazis are on Twitter. OMG, Twitter wouldn't let me talk about misinformation about COVID vaccines that are killing millions of people. OMG. But hey, man, hypocrisy at its finest. Let's react to this. I'm using a new platform called Restream. So let's log in.
AOC or Bernie Sanders, all of these bastards call us fascists.
Fascists, and I'm not going to listen to you talk because I know Piers Morgan wants to push the MAGA agenda. That's why he had fascist number one. So he started off with MAGA, more MAGA. All right, let's get into the panelists. I'm very curious about this one because obviously this dude's MAGA moron. Andrew Wilson pretends that he's nuanced. He's a MAGA moron as well. Anna Kasparian is in this weird area where she's kind of grifting, but she only grifts when she's talking about how Jews caused 9/11. And then Cornel West, Black Power. Let's dive into it.
Well, it started with
heard about what had happened to Charlie Kirk and presumably at some stage saw the video. When going to be Anna Kasparian, what was your immediate reaction when you heard about what had happened to Charlie Kirk and presumably at some stage saw the video?
Well, it started with absolute shock, followed by despair, followed by fear of what this means for the country and how things could potentially and very likely devolve further. You know, Charlie and I have.
That's a very good point. The biggest concern I have is the precedent this will set. And I don't think it's a coincidence that after this event, there was like multiple HBCUs that were getting threatened in terms of a shooting. UMass had a shooting. Naval Academy had threats of shootings. So like multiple people are threatening the shooting. Also, in the same time, like a school shooting happened at this one. I don't remember if it's a middle school or high school. This sets a terrible precedent. And I think most people, I know most people condemn this. Most people believe that political violence is not the answer. And I know MAGA is going to try to create a narrative, but that's just the reality. However, those fringe radicals that exist on both the left and the right are going to now, that if I think this guy or if I think this girl's the enemy, it doesn't even have to be political assassinations in terms of politicians. Now it can be political personality assassinations in terms of media personalities. So basically, if you create any political content, if you have any type of impact, you're fair game. And I think that's despicable. I think there are terrible people when it comes down to their political rhetoric. Charlie Kirk is one of them. But I have, and I never will advocate for his death or political violence. Now we're in uncharted territories, and it's going to get very bad, especially with Donald Trump and his administration trying to utilize this as a means to do very unhinged stuff, as we knew this was going to happen.
Had multiple debates and conversations, and What I really appreciated about Charlie, and I've said this multiple times, was that even though we had disagreements, he had a huge platform and was inviting to people like me to make my case to a completely different audience about my point of view, why I believe things that I believe. And that's what is supposed to make America great. The ability to live in a pluralistic society where people have differences of opinion but can engage with one another in good faith.
I knew Anna was going to do this. I'm not surprised. She's been grifting to the right for a while, where she's going to try to put Charlie on this pedestal. And I mean, I thought she had left-wing principles, but I feel like all her left-wing principles have disappeared ever since, the homeless guy situation and this Israel-Palestine war. Like, there's too many. I just don't think putting Charlie on this pedestal like he was this good guy is worth it if you're on the left. I don't understand it. He's willing to have you on the platform, but he didn't do that for the kindness of his own heart. He did that for his audience. So I just, sure, I guess.
And make their case. I was recently on Tucker Carlson's show for a pretty lengthy interview. And after that interview ended, Tucker Carlson let me know that Charlie Kirk reached out to him and said that he loved the interview and would like to have me on his show. That's the kind of person.
I think that says a lot about you, Anna, that Tucker and Charlie want you on their platform. I think that says a lot, Anna. I think your current rhetoric is very appealing to them, and how you've been very nice to MAGA. Saying that Tucker Carlson sounds president-like is one of the
Charlie Kirk was. Now, that's not to take away from the things that I vehemently disagreed with him on. But engaging in violence is an act of cowardice. It's what losers do. It's what people who are unable.
I'm focusing on the wrong thing. I do think Anna is a grifter, but she's correct. This point is correct. No matter how much I hate Charlie Kirk, it's not a disagreement. I think he has bad rhetoric, like very bad intention rhetoric. She's correct. It's cowardice to resort to violence.
To articulate their arguments effectively, resort to. That's my take on what happened to Charlie Kirk. And I have to say, the video of him getting killed was one of the most disgusting, horrific things I've seen, and I can't get that image out of my mind. It's seared in my mind.
But thank you for saying what you just said. Very clear. What has been truly shocking to me, not just the murder itself, which was obviously just horrific.
Here we go. The left. He's going to bring up random social media accounts. I just know it. I know Pierce's game. Let me hear it.
Horrific, as was the video. And I agree, it's very hard to ever lose that image of what happened. But the reaction from young people in particular on the left, I have to say, I have found absolutely...
Like a book, man. He's such a piece of shit. Like a book. Piers is such a good MAGA soldier, man.
Sickening. The glee, the celebration, the TikToks, the general, the behavior of this rap band, Bob Dylan, and then the lying about the fact they were clearly celebrating in the most despicable manner what had happened to Charlie Kirk. I've got no problem with people appraising Charlie Kirk's record and criticizing him where they feel he was wrong about stuff. That's fine. That happens to every public figure when they die. But to gleefully celebrate the cold-blooded execution of a 31-year-old father of two, I just found crossed every line of humanity. And I guess, Anna, a lot of these young people, you've met a lot of these young people on the left. What is going on with young people?
Please, Anna, please set the record straight that they're using random people on social media to paint this narrative that the left is unhinged. Please, Anna. If Anna can't do it, then Cornell could maybe do it. Well, let's see. We'll see.
And I'm not just saying, I'm not for a moment saying there aren't young people on the right that have similar mindsets about their opponent.
No, fuck you, Piers. You know for a fact that you just said that to make it seem like you're neutral. You never have brought that up to establish a conversation about it, to establish a narrative about it. But you purposely did this because you want to establish a narrative about the left. Shut the fuck up. No, I'm not saying that this doesn't. You never say it happens on the right. You're just trying to cover your bases so you seem like you're neutral. Come on, bro.
But what is going on with these young people on the woke left who genuinely look at that and think this is something to celebrate? Hello and welcome. We'll be giving some breaking.
Saying nothing about the majority, the grand majority of people on the left, even on the woke left, that's condemned it. But nah, he's gonna focus on like young people with barely any following and focus on those people because Piers is such a piece of garbage, bro. I swear to God. Please, Anna, please have some integrity.
Well, I'm going to answer the question, but let me just note that there are different factions on the left. And I think the way that this is kind of being discussed in a way that just kind of generalizes everyone on the left is kind of unfair.
Come on, Anna. Win me back. Win me back, Anna.
Putting that aside, I do think that we have an overall problem. I think what happened is a symptom of a bigger issue that we have, not just in this country, but I'm seeing it happen globally, where there's just this dehumanization of people based on their political views. And on top of that, the devaluing of human life, right? I mean, we've been seeing images of people being butchered, children being butchered endlessly on social media over the last nearly 2 years. Prior to that, I mean, the rhetoric that devalues human life, I think, has played a role into it. But also, I just think that there's this dumb idea that all you need to do is like get rid of or take out some of the prominent figures on the political side of the aisle that you disagree with, and that'll somehow solve the issue. No, that doesn't solve the issue. What it does is it makes the situation in various countries where this type of political violence plays out far worse. Now you're hearing talk of retaliation in a violent way. When it comes to the Trump administration, you're hearing policies that are being proposed that would limit the legitimate political speech of Americans. I am concerned about that. What that disgusting murderer did is he pushed for this country to devolve further. And I wish that cooler heads would prevail, but at the same time, I don't begrudge people who are angry. I mean, that poor wife and her 2 children witnessed Charlie Kirk get shot and killed in the neck. I don't begrudge her at all for being furious. No. I can't even imagine where my headspace would be at right now if that happened to my husband.
Right. Andrew Wilson.
She's completely correct about, I don't blame her children or the wife. Anybody who goes like, oh, why you acting like that? That's her husband. Like, you're just being nasty. You're just being apathetic. That's disgusting. Any wife or husband would be furious and blame the other side. That's just a reasonable human emotion. 100%. I don't blame that his wife at all. As for what Anna said, she's completely correct about basic everything she just said and how it's being used as a weapon. They're going to ignore that part. How the Trump administration is going to be using this as a weapon. But we have dehumanized a lot of people. And I hate doing it. I don't dehumanize people, but I call them a piece of shit. I say that they're doing terrible, terrible things because they do stuff like this. Now, I am agreeing with Anna, but I do want to say, Anna, I 100% am with you, but just inflect a little bit on your Jew Israel talk, because they're kind of doing the same thing when you do that. I'm okay with you criticizing the state of Israel. I'm okay with criticizing the far right movement of Israel. But like Jews causing 9/11, it's starting Jews, with the Jeffrey Epstein, it's starting to get very nasty. It's very bad rhetoric that you're starting to do. So, but overall, Anna was cooking.
Where were you when you heard about Charlie Kirk, and what is your view of the fallout from this?
Yeah, I was sitting with my wife watching TV. So the thing is I remember this picture circulating around of Charlie Kirk. He was debating the incoming president of the Oxford Union, and they were all smiles and handshakes. And by the next day, this guy was saying the most insane rhetoric about how he basically had it coming. So how many of these leftists have murderous intent? When we show up to have a conversation with them. We show up to.
Yep, time to paint the narrative. Time to paint the narrative. All the left is insane. The left causes violence. The left is evil. Here we go. This is what Piers Morgan wanted. This is his goal. This is all to help the Trump administration get enough support to do their fascist regime. Once we're a full-blown fascist, I hope Piers Morgan is happy about it. I hope he got exactly what he wanted, because this is exactly what he's doing.
Debate our views. We show up
Good
to in some way engage
Piers.
with them. How many of them have seething murder?
I mean, I don't have to say that about Andrew Wilson, because Andrew Wilson is like that already. Like he's a good soldier. He's a good soldier for MAGA. Now there is insane people on the left, for sure. I call out the far left all the time. But this is not about calling out the far left in an attempt to prove something. No, this is to shape them as individuals who are more violent and more evil, even though the data does not back up any of these claims. It's just how they feel. It's how they feel.
Murderous intent behind their eyes, and they don't really want to do any of that. They really want you dead. And that is the biggest demonstration of that, by the way, in that one single picture. You have Anna Kasparian here, and she's talking about this. The Young Turks called Charlie Kirk a fascist how many times? The Young Turks played into this rhetoric how much? They went out of their way to do so. Ruben recently called him out for doing it. So
I've never called him a fascist.
Hang on.
I've literally never. I don't even call Trump a fascist.
Anna, why are you playing that? They are fascists. Like, I don't see why we got to start pretending that this is not the case. They have fascist tendencies, for sure. Like, you can meme and all that, it's fun, but what they're doing is definitely leans towards fascist tendencies. We're not saying this because we want them to be. I don't want these people to be fascists. I don't want the president of the United States and the administration controlling it to be fascist. I'm just seeing what they're doing, and they're doing things like a fascist would. So, Anna, don't play nice with Andrew Wilson, who's a little fucking cuck, who can't even open a pickle jar. Don't play nice with him. Yes, call them what they are. Like, the thing is, if we were talking about Israel, and Andrew Wilson brought up, well, you keep on saying that the Israelis abide by genocide or whatever, and then an Israeli died, Anna wouldn't hold back. She would say, yeah, if they didn't do this, I wouldn't call them that. Keep the same energy, because it's true.
I didn't interrupt you once, lady.
But you can't make things up about what I've said about Charlie Kirk.
You can talk when I'm done talking, like I was respectful enough to let you do. So the thing is like, yes, they do.
To be fair, I don't know if Anna's ever called him a fascist, so maybe I'm being hard on her. Maybe she's never done that, but he acted like a fascist, and so does Trump. So
this network does do that, and these leftists do that, and they set all the rhetoric up in the world to make sure something like this happened, and they were dancing on the grave of this guy before he was even cold. I have tweets from Destiny which are insane. The leftists have gone off the reservation, and it's time for us to stop pretending.
Andrew Wilson, you've said terrible shit too. Congratulations, you saw tweets of people on the left, and now you're going to create a whole image. Andrew Wilson's such a bad faith piece of shit. I swear to God, he's such a bad faith piece of shit. Like, if I went through his Twitter, you don't think I could find terrible things that he said? You don't think so? You don't think this has like prime tweets from him saying things advocating for political violence? I want to play this. I want to play a little game.
That it's not their rhetoric which is leading to these types of assassinations, because it is. I don't want to hear about factions. All of you guys are doing this. All of you guys have the same type of rhetoric which leads to this, or the networks you work for do.
Well, Anna, let me let you respond to that before I bring Cornell.
I have never called Charlie Kirk a fascist, number one. In fact, if anything, we have received a tremendous amount. I don't remember Trump. I don't remember Cenk calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. In fact, Cenk and I got into a debate about whether or not, hold on. I don't remember Cenk calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. He called
Very
Trump
evasive.
a fascist, and he and I got into a debate about that. But to lump in everyone on the left together, I don't agree with Destiny on anything these days. Destiny is totally unhinged in his rhetoric, 100%. I have been critical of Charlie Kirk's political views, but going around referring to people as Nazis, turning the temperature up, I did not engage in that. So
Destiny's unhinged. I disagree with Charlie Kirk. It's just the phrasing being used here is interesting.
just want you to at least be fair about what I've actually said about
There's
Charlie
no
Kirk.
actual reason for us to believe leftists at this point. It's very clear that while they come out with a handshake and wanting to have these conversations, they claim, right? In reality, what they're doing is they have murderous intent, and they'll celebrate you the day that you die. The next day, they'll go after your wife. Thousands of social media accounts going after her wife, or this guy's wife, after she made a speech.
Yeah, the same thing happens to the right. Stop bitching. You sound, bro. Andrew Wilson is a whiny, hypocritical piece of garbage, bro. I swear to God, he is the perfect MAGA soldier where he thinks everything that his side is doing is good, bro. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. And I know
About her poor husband. Yes, it is your side that's doing that. Like it or not, it's your side that's doing that. There's no equivalency between the right and the left on this. Yeah, okay, fine. You're not a leftist. I'm sorry. Are you on the left?
That's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie. January 6th, the Democratic lawmakers. There's a study that when it comes to political violence, the majority of it is political violence from people on the far right, not the far left. People who were clowning that one individual who beat that one politician's husband with a hammer, and people were clowning on it. What about George Floyd, where people were making fun of that dude after he died by cops? You're a liar. You're just a liar.
Wing, are you a Democrat? Are you more of a Democrat than you are a Republican? Do you move towards those types of issues?
I'm not a Democrat. I actually registered as an independent.
Fine. You register as an independent.
Come on, you gotta at least know what my views are if you're going to attack me.
All right, let me bring in.
I've been attacked by the left over the last 3 years.
All right, let me bring in.
No. I've been attacked by the left. No, Piers, let me just at least address that. I've been attacked viciously by leftists over the last 3 years because of the fact that I want to engage in this type of dialogue, because of the fact I was willing to sit down with Charlie Kirk and with Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro. I'm willing to have conversations, and I don't go around labeling people as fascist and racist and Nazis just because I disagree with them.
Just
so just at least understand what my political views are. Listen, I'm not going to be blamed for what everyone in that company has to say. Anyone in that company has to say.
The head of that company?
We're supposed to judge people based on individuals. He did not go around calling Charlie Kirk a fascist and a Nazi.
That you don't have good reasoning skills. If it's the case that you think, oh my God,
you
can't be calling people Nazis. You can't be calling people Nazis while your boss does all the time.
Why are you making that up? You're just making it up. You're just making it up. We're all the same. That's how simple-minded you are. You're all the same. Okay, then everyone on the right is just like Dylan Roof.
All right, let me bring in. I want to bring in Cornel West. I want to bring in Cornel. Please let Cornel come in now. He's been waiting very patiently. Cornel, welcome back to Uncensored, where things are getting incendiary quite quickly. I think the overriding point I would make about the debate we've just been hearing between Andrew and Anna is that there is little doubt to me that the constant rhetoric on the left, the woke left, let me be specific to where I think a lot of the blame lies, ever since Donald Trump came into power.
Oh, Destiny shows up. Yeah, let's get some heat on here. Because Cornel West hasn't said anything.
Stop America from being taken over by the new Nazi. You agree that this language, this relentless, in my view, woeful misuse, particularly of the word Nazi, towards Trump and his supporters, this is part of the problem.
Well, I think part of the deeper problem, though, Brother Piers, is that the organized greed and weaponized hatred and routinized indifference toward the vulnerable has come together in such a way that it has eroded the sources of character formation, so that integrity, honesty, decency, and self-critical sensibilities of individuals and groups is more and more disappearing. So you end up with because hatred itself is promiscuous, just like greed, just like indifference toward the suffering of others. It's promiscuous. It will lie with the left, right, center. It lies with Christians. It lies with Muslims. It lies with Jews. It lies with Buddhists. It lies with Hindus. And human beings were so wretched in the first place. If we don't undergo some kind of spiritual and moral cultivation, we end up falling back on greed and hatred and indifference. And I mean, the American empire at this moment is one in which the lethal combination of the hatred and the greed and the indifference generates very much the exchange that we just saw. You see, this brother right here says, well, all leftists want to see me dead. Well, I'm a leftist. I don't want to see you dead. I'm a Christian.
You called Trump's administration a neo-fascist movement, you lunatic. People have gone out
You're
of
absolutely
your way.
right.
You have gone out of your way.
No, let me make the case. Let me make the case. Let me make the case. Will you allow me to speak, brother? Come on, man.
This guy would be a great Nazi soldier. I swear to God, he would advocate. He would justify everything his side would do and paint the other side as completely evil. He's a good soldier. You need blind soldiers like this.
Hey, come on. No, you haven't made the case. If you think I made the case, then you're not understanding dialogue.
You just said this, brother over here said this.
You're very, very different, brother Charlie, man. You're very different than Charlie, though, man. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I can
it's
make the case for that.
people like you that got that man killed, sir.
No. There are such a thing as neo-fascists. But Piers, why you have a brother on who's not gonna allow nobody to speak, man? We're just wasting time. If all you're interested in is making your money, and you bring this brother on it, and nobody can say a word, and we can't even mourn Brother Charlie passing. I had dialogues with Brother Charlie. This brother's gonna say, oh, this kumbaya and so forth. No, Charlie was made in the image of a loving and mighty God. I believe that. I say my prayers for Sister Erica and the kids because this brother wants to trash my Christian sensibility. And look at him laughing now. It's a joke, man. Piers, it's not worth it. The
is
dialogue
Charlie
not worth
Kirk
it.
part of the neo-fascist movement? Is he part of your neo-fascist movement?
Not with this brother.
Yeah.
When Charlie himself says that he is against Civil Rights Act, does that make him a proponent of Jim Crow? When he calls Martin Luther King Jr. an awful human being and a scumbag? I'm critical of that. I am critical of that. You're absolutely right, bro.
Yeah. When Charlie Kirk says things that are bad against black people, Andrew Wilson says, "Oh yeah, so what? So what?" He can say all the disgusting things he can about people and take away all their rights. That's fine. That's fine. Because he's a white Christian. White Christian male. Piece of shit.
Brother Wilson, you're absolutely right. But if all you're going to do is be arrogant, you're arrogant just like the so-called leftists you're talking about. But Piers, you making your money, brother. Go on and make your money, man.
It's not about making.
Not worth it. This brother right here,
making money.
part of the problem. This other brother.
It is about making money, Piers. You want to do the exact narrative that all your MAGA supporters in your comment section are going to eat right up. They're going to eat this shit right up. You're doing the exact narrative that they want to hear. Yeah, let's attack the left. It's all their fault. They're the ones advocating for violence. They're the ones. Good job, Piers. Make your bread. Keep on ruining my country.
This other brother who has a deep connection to Charlie, he's willing to at least listen. But this brother's not willing to listen.
Can you sit down? I would like you to remain part of the debate.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. He's smoking his cigarettes with his arrogant self. Come on, man. We don't have enough dialogue at all.
Surely you're not going to walk out in a debate about dialogue.
Go on and make your money, man.
Right. Well, it's kind of farcical to quit a debate where we're literally debating about the importance of free speech and being able to listen to each other.
No, Piers is. You're not debating about free speech. You're not debating about fucking free speech here. You're creating a panel to crucify the far left and paint the far left as the entire left. Just because you throw in words here to cover your status quo to make it seem like you can, you're neutral. The energy, the framing, and the overall conversation's focused on painting the left in a certain way. And when Andrew Wilson used a totality term shaping the entire left, you don't push back. Of course not. Of course not. So this is about free speech. You're not talking about the free speech of the MAGA administration willing to lock people up and deport people for saying things that they disliked about Charlie Kirk. Where's the free speech in that? Non-existent. Gotcha. Understood.
Others' opinions, which seems to me completely insane. Anyway, we've lost Cornel West for now. Maybe we'll get him back. Well, Andrew Wilson referred to Destiny's insane tweets a little earlier, which were disavowed by Annika Sperin. Well, Destiny joins us now. Destiny, you've been quite active on social media since Charlie Kirk's death. When Erica Kirk posted Charlie's coffin, you responded, she tagged him, brackets, crying face emojis. In response to Alina Haber's tweet ordering people to fly their flags at half-mast in memory of Charlie, you posted on X buying flags and poles just to fly them fully erect.
The only time Piers Morgan has Destiny on is when he can pull up tweets to use to attack him. This is never a genuine. I don't know why Destiny pays Piers mind here. I hate that Destiny keeps on doing this shit where he keeps on putting himself in holes that he has to dig himself out. But it's whatever. It's whatever. Fucking cat and mouse game, I guess.
And you then posted yesterday, ending every conservative debate call out I do in 2026 with "Don't dodge, bro." That's not what Charlie would have wanted. Do you think that your response to the cold-blooded murder of Charlie Kirk has been appropriate?
Yes. I think that the only way this country moves forward into a better world is when conservatives can finally realize that they need to turn the temperature down on their side. We are 10 years into whatever this Trump madness is, and there is not a single mainstream conservative that will call for a lowering of the temperature on their side. I think that liberals need to wake up and finally realize that if they're not willing to do it, it will never come down. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump should have been president for the second term. Every time he's in office, this happens. People joked about when Biden came in, it was so boring, nothing was going on. 7 out of 10 of the largest protests in American history have happened under Donald Trump. All of the recent political violence that's happened in this country over the past 20 years, the majority of it, the overwhelming majority of it, everybody gets mad because they keep asking Grok about it, has been conservative.
Who shot Charlie Kirk?
A guy from Utah who was raised in a Christian family, who was a 22-year-old
guy
white
described.
dude. He wasn't trans. He didn't have a trans girlfriend. He didn't have any trans influences. He didn't have any trans bullets. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys were wrong on all of that.
To be clear, the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, has made it clear that their investigation has now established that he had been radicalized by a leftist ideology, which drove him to do this. That's just
I'm sorry, excuse me, when?
Yesterday, he said that.
No. When was he radicalized? In the 6 months that he did remote college?
I don't know when he was radicalized, but I do know the very reasonable sounding governor of Utah has made it clear that the investment. You may not want to hear this.
Ongoing investigation.
No, Piers, you're going to obviously you're going to use the quote of someone who's right wing to enforce your point. Of course, because MAGA wants to create a narrative. They are trying so hard to create the narrative. It's the left. They want to martyr Charlie Kirk and use this as an opportunity to attack the left, to attack trans people, to attack leftist ideology. I get it, Piers. I understand.
You may not want to hear it, Destiny, but the reality is the investigators, according to the governor of Utah, have established that he was radicalized to a leftist ideology that drove him to murder Charlie Kirk. Now, let me just ask you.
Not true.
Let me just
There's
ask
no
you.
way to deal with it.
Okay, you're accusing the governor of lying. Yeah. That's your prerogative. But sure. If it turns out to have been somebody with a leftist ideology who wanted to shut up Charlie Kirk, would you condemn that?
I won't condemn anything until the president of the United States can go on air and say, all of us need to calm down.
So you won't condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk until Donald...
It is interesting that Piers has nothing to say about Donald Trump using this as a means to attack the left. Of course, we know why. MAGA agent. Now, do I agree with Destiny's strategy here? Fuck no. It's a terrible strategy. The optics are terrible. It's just an annoying, combative conversation to get into consistently. Do I understand what he's trying to do? He's trying to point a mirror at the hypocrisy. Now, is the hypocrisy disgusting? Of course. MAGA, the definition of MAGA is hypocrite. So of course, there's a consistent double standard. But do I think, I don't know if this is working. I don't know what his barometer on the effectiveness of this strategy is. I just don't think it's when it comes down to who we need to appeal to moving forward for elections, who we need to appeal to is moderates, like the average American. And if you go into and talk to a moderate and average American, I don't think they're going to think you're successfully proving your point in a way that would deter them away from Trump. I think what your best strategies are when you just debate MAGA, but this whole idea of acting like them to show them how bad they are, that just doesn't work. It just doesn't.
Trump says something.
I'm a YouTuber. Leftists and Democrats have been condemning and turning down the temperature, condemning violence, turning down the temperature for a decade. Donald Trump can't go on TV and say, all of us need to calm down.
Right.
Can you tell me why he cannot?
Why would you expect anybody, Destiny?
You can't answer that. Can you answer that question? Why can't
Can you answer this question?
All of us should be less violent.
Why do you think?
Say that?
Why do you think?
Why is your behavior contingent on Donald Trump?
Insane right now.
Why do you think? Let me ask you a question.
Here we go, Anna. No, all my leniency for Anna is about to disappear. All my leniency about Anna is about to disappear, where she's about to cape for the right. It's about to be a 4-on-1 debate, Destiny. Strap in, lock in, do what you got to do. But I do think it's interesting how they're asking for a condemnation of the shooting. And there is a clip of Destiny saying that this guy is a terrible human being. He deserves the death penalty. Like, there's a clip of Destiny saying this. But his strategy on this platform is to not condemn it and to force these people to match his energy. I feel like there's a better strategy here. Imagine you condemn it. Yeah, he condemned it. He's a piece of shit. And then just go on your tirade with Trump. I feel like they have no ability to really attack you there because you already condemned it. Yeah, they can look at your tweets and stuff. I just don't think this is the good strategy.
Trump.
Let me ask you a question.
Because he's the president of the United States of America and the leader of the
Destiny. Let me
You have a huge audience of young men who listen to everything you have to say. So when it doesn't matter. You have a huge audience, and because of the fact that you have a huge audience, you have a responsibility to not turn. No, it hasn't. It hasn't been broken. Actually care about the country and want to bring people together. You do the opposite. You represent the worst of us, Destiny. You're embarrassing.
You should tell Donald.
I mean, Destiny should recognize his impact. But the point of this is to compare it to Donald Trump's impact, the leader of the free world, the most powerful person in the world. It's night and day in terms of the influence. But people don't. I think Destiny assumes that everybody works at this level. This level is called complete rationality, where they're able to equate things in a very logical scale. But most people don't work on this level. They work on a different level. I don't want to say it's lower or above, but let's just say they just work at this level where the logical scale can be applied. And once they get there, but most people are here where they're thinking through using their emotions and dictated based on what is in front of them. Destiny needs to meet these people where they're at.
All right, let me ask Destiny a question.
Watch how easy this is.
Hang on, don't all shout at once, please.
If Donald Trump would have come out and said, hey, we should all be less violent,
Destiny,
I have no problem saying
I have one
absolutely.
question for you,
Why
Destiny.
can't conservatives do that? Why can't conservatives do that?
Destiny, I have a question for you. Why do you think, in your campaign for everyone to dial down the temperature, why do you think that mocking the grieving widow of Charlie Kirk when she posts an image of her at the coffin side, why do you think that constitutes turning down the temperature?
You can't turn down the temperature on your own. The president of the United States is not able.
You're mocking his widow. You're mocking his widow.
We've had multiple political assassinations over the past year. What do you mean it's turning up the temperature?
Why did you mock his widow?
Why
did you mock his widow?
Because she's being used as a political weapon right now for conservatives to continue. What do you mean, wow? She's literally doing
her husband just got murdered
on email. Yeah, and she's using it to drive up recruitment for
and you can't even condemn the murder. You won't condemn it.
Can't even tell his side.
You're so deranged about Trump that you cannot condemn the murder because you're waiting for Donald Trump to say something. All right, let me bring in Jack. Let me bring in Jack Posobiec. I gotta say,
there's still no answer to that question, Piers. You can't say
which question?
Why can't Donald Trump simply go on TV and say we all need to turn it down?
Fine.
Like Biden could, like Obama could,
Fine.
like the Clintons could, like Kamala could. Why not?
Why can't you condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk?
Yep, doesn't answer the question because Piers Morgan will never. He can't turn his back on his daddy Trump.
I'm not the president.
Why can't you condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk?
Unbelievable to me.
Why can't you condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk?
Because it wasn't my side that caused it.
Yes, it was. It actually was your side that caused it. It was your side.
This guy was raised in a white Christian
household. He was a radicalized leftist ideology.
He wasn't radicalized by leftism at all. You have no proof of that whatsoever.
That's what the investigators are saying.
Was a conservative, just like Villa Firebomb, Shapiro's house was a conservative, just like all the J6ers were conservative, just like the Proud Boys were conservative. Every single one of these people. Oh, it's Jack Posobiec, what, the author of Unhuman, another person that Charlie's putting a good one, dude.
I'll give you one last chance, Destiny, to condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk.
You're acting like an unhuman.
Why can't I hear Donald Trump condemn violence?
All right, you won't condemn it. Okay, we've all.
Yeah, don't get the fuck out of here. Don't. I hate when these people are trying to act like they care about a human life all of a sudden. They don't. They care about their human, the guy on their side. They don't play this moral high ground. You don't give a shit about the poor people who are struggling under this administration that are losing all their care from this big beautiful bill. You don't care about the immigrants that are getting tossed out of the country because of I don't know, don't like brown people. There's really no good justification for it, because every single data point that you could point into on the reasons why illegal immigrants are bad are fucking wrong that you guys make up. You don't care about the people who are losing aid all across the world from the United States of America. So don't fucking play this moral high ground. Don't. I'm not hearing it. You don't care. You care about your friend. Fair enough. I would care about my friend too. I'll put him above a lot of people. But I'm not going to call you less human just because you don't care about my friend. It's a strategy to make it seem like, oh, I'm the political moral superior one in this conversation. I still don't think Destiny's strategy here is effective, but I think he just wants to create chaos. Am I mad at it? I don't know. Is it effective? No, but is it? It's chaos.
That's insane.
We've
to
all
me.
heard you repeatedly refuse to
And
condemn
we've
it.
heard Donald Trump refuse to condemn
Jack
it too. For some
Posobiec.
reason, the leftists on YouTube are a bigger deal. Unbelievable.
Yeah, what's incredible is you don't have the basic humanity to condemn it. You'd rather taunt his widow. I find that sickening. Jack Posobiec.
I find it sickening that when people are getting killed in the country, the president of the United States on Fox and Friends, where they're begging him, what do you say to your followers that want revenge? He says, I don't know, all the elections are rigged. It's the radical Democrats. That's insane to me. And then the fixation is, well, who on Twitter and YouTube isn't condemning the violence?
All right, Jack
Piers,
Posobiec.
you have a great example here of the type of cancer I'm talking about, where when you present direct information, they refuse, they obfuscate, they refute, they say it's not true, they lie. You could see from the bullet casings, you could see from postings, you could see from everything out there that it's very clear what happened here. This is the same people who supported President Trump almost getting assassinated twice last year, Corey Capatore being assassinated last year in a situation. Again, see, just lies. That's all they do. They talk over.
Yeah, the calm voice. In the calm voice, trying to make up things, even though we know that they were on the right. But okay.
They don't even let you give a chance to speak. And something needs to be done, Piers. Something absolutely needs to be done. This ideology should be shamed, humiliated, driven from the public discourse. I mean, you've got people who have completely dissociated with humanity because all they care about are clicks and YouTube streams and likes.
MAGA.
Go to the casket. Go to the
MAGA doesn't care about humanity. They only care about a very specific subsection of people and the far left. So it's like basically the entire right and then a percentage of the left, like the far left. The entire right versus the far left. This is a no-brainer. So that's why when Destiny comes on, he can point out actual politicians, actual influential figures, the fucking president of the United States. All you people could point up is, who's this random TikToker? Well, they're like 18. See, the left is evil. Look at this random TikToker or this random tweeter. But what about Donald Trump? But this random TikToker. That's how it works.
gravesite. Go talk to the widow. I don't even know how to discuss this with someone who's completely lost all touch with reality.
Yeah, I mean, Anna.
What's Jack's answer to why can't the president say we should all be less violent?
Right. Because you can't even condemn the cold-blooded execution of Charlie Kirk.
Turns on
I don't think you're in a position to demand anything from anybody.
On YouTube. That's how I'm going to take my.
You're not in any position to condemn anybody for anything. You won't condemn a cold-blooded murder.
He's the president of the United States. He's the president of the United States. No one here can answer that question.
Basic humanity says the murder was horrific. Why can't you say it?
To be less violent.
Why can't you say it, Destiny?
Over a decade.
To say the murder was horrific and
Why
unacceptable.
can't Donald Trump say it?
You can't do it, can you?
hear any words for Donald Trump?
All right, Anna Kasperin.
Nothing exactly.
Anna Kasperin. To me, this is what I'm talking about. That I think there is an element of the left, the hard woke left, that have completely lost their minds. If you are not able to just outright simply condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk, and if you cannot stop yourself from mocking his grieving widow, you are sick, as I've just seen from Destiny.
The sick thing is weaponizing a widow's grief to try to do recruitment for your political party. That's probably one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. She's showing up in emails for recruitment drive.
What did you expect, though, Destiny? What did you think the assassination?
What do I expect? I expect people to not use another person to increase your political power. Is that a crazy expectation, Anna? Is my expectation is like, oh, someone died. Let me use their wife as a tool to gain political power. Was that not supposed to be my expectation, that you're not supposed to do that? Like, I, at the very least, seen a clip of Destiny actually condemning it. He just refuses to do it on this panel here because he wants to establish some type of hypocrisy, I guess. I don't know. I think he should have just condemned it right off rip. The conversation gets lost. Destiny keeps on doing that. I hate when he does that. But I've seen him. already do it. There's a clip, very obvious. He thinks this was a disgusting act. He just refuses to do it here because he wants to show that these people don't care. And then Anna's obviously grifting. Grifty. Shout out. You have Andrew Wilson talking shit about you personally, but, you know, grifty. All right.
Of a political figure would do. What did you think the outcome was going to by the way, really, your behavior. Hold on. Hey, how about take it easy on the Adderall? Take it easy on the Adderall, and let me answer the question that Piers asked me.
You must have been really bullied today.
My behavior is not reliant on how anyone else behaves. Every morning I wake up and I make decisions about how I choose to react or respond to things. I don't wake up in the morning, check what Donald Trump has to say, and then base my own personal behavior on his behavior. I agree with you in that it would be very helpful to have the leader of this country want to turn the temperature down. And he hasn't done that. I agree with you on that. But that doesn't change the way
I think Anna's about to make a good point.
I choose to respond to what's going on. The idea of mocking a woman who is now a widow with 2 young children, who witnessed her husband get shot in the neck and bleed out to death. How could you mock that? What is wrong with you? I just don't understand.
She's correct about that. There's really no justification for Destiny to do that. That's why I say these fucking jokes need to stop. Like, time and place. Like, they're just such in poor taste, and they muddy the water. It's just Destiny he's way too arrogant about, not even arrogant. What's the word? What's the word? Not prideful. He's way too egotistical about himself sometimes. And that he kind of lives in his own world, and he just doesn't. If he just took out this one piece about himself, about where he does stupid shit like this, he would be golden, man. He would be good. All right, is there anything else interesting from this, or is this going to be a yelling match for the entire time? So Destiny just stuck in here for another hour and 30 minutes.
Stand it. That's it. I don't understand it. I don't understand you, Destiny. You have so much hatred in your heart, and at the same time, you judge others.
If you're going to weaponize somebody's grief against the other party, well, then of course people have a right to fight back against it. I think that she has every right to grieve in whatever way she wants, but when that grief is going to be weaponized to do recruitment, political recruitment, and further radicalization of the other side, then of course you not only have the ability to, why not you have the obligation to mock it? It's insane.
Let me understand your argument. So since others are using her grief to politically recruit, you think that it's okay to mock her specifically?
Since others are using her grief, she's the one who gave a 17-minute speech on TV where she talked about good versus evil. She's the one showing up in
Destiny,
TPUSA ads to 1 or 2 days after.
If someone assassinates...
See... It just is, you're not going to win them over with this argument, because Anna is correct here. She is the peak of emotions, and she's going to side with she's going to help the side that's on her side. Like, there's no way you can logically get her out of what she's at, because she's grieving. Like, Destiny, you're not going to win this. It's just not you can't win the widow argument. Nothing you say can win that. Everybody, Anna's correct again, which is crazy. I'm like on Anna's side. The people who are using her are fucking bad people. You should attack them, jokes at them, point the joke meter at them, not at the widow. It's just not good.
If someone assassinated my husband, I would not be able to have the level of composure she had during that speech. I would be out for blood. I understand why she's angry and why she said the things that she said. Okay, you need to understand what being a human is, what it's like to actually lose someone that you love, that you chose to spend your life with, that you chose to raise children with, a person who was violently and viciously assassinated like that. This is why I've moved away
and when
from
something
identifying as
you got bullied online. It's so funny. It's so funny that you just
so
said that
embarrassing
you don't think about how other people act to define your behavior. Your entire political ideology now is somehow defined by the people that were mean to you on Twitter.
No,
if somebody cares about somebody who's grieving,
I understood
you tell that
what
person,
the flaws
you
on
tell
the
that
left
person,
happen to
hey,
be. The
maybe you
weakness
should
in their
step back for a
arguments.
couple of
No.
weeks.
I think I'm gonna end it here. I don't think this is gonna be productive. Man. Oh man. Not again. Ultimately, Piers is a MAGA bot who's helping create the narrative that the left is evil. This guy was Charlie Kirk's friend, I guess. So of course he's sad. Andrew Wilson is a MAGA soldier, so he wants to frame the entire left as evil. Anna is too nice to the right. She's too nice to MAGA, but she was the most correct one here. If Destiny just removed the part about him being like so prideful, it's not even a pride thing. I still think it's an ego thing where he thinks that this strategy is effective. It's just not. I agree on how terrible MAGA is. The way you were able to convince people that you're correct is not by going at the worst low hanging fruit. And the two easiest things to, give, like you give an inch, you gain a mile, is leave the widow and leave Kirk's wife and her kids alone. Just leave them alone, and then condemn the murder, and then continue with what you got to say, and attack Trump, attack MAGA using this as a mean. Like there's so much good stuff, but we're focused on your rhetoric. Now, to be fair, Piers Morgan only brings on people to help his MAGA framing. He only brings on Destiny when he has something to attack Destiny on, because if he knows if he got on a real debate with Destiny, he would get destroyed. But this is just not the way. That's all I got. Shout out. Y'all have a good one. Take care. Peace.